So we just read the story The Iron Shoes from the von Franz Xavier von Schoenwerth's The Turnip Princess. And I'll go ahead and give a summary and then we'll just kind of talk about it. There was a son of the groundskeeper for the king, and his father was kind of getting really mad at him, just wondering what he was doing with his life, and told him to that he should go out into the wide world and kind of, you know, see if that helps. So the son kind of goes and he encounters like an old castle, and he walks through the threshold, and there's not a soul around, very quiet. And he walks through all the rooms, and he gets very, very tired. And so he lays down, and a woman in black comes in, and she brings him a meal and tells him to lay on the bed. And he goes to sleep, and at midnight, he's woken up by a man in black who abuses him greatly. And the next morning, the woman comes back and she has a meal for him, and she tells him that she is a princess trapped there. And, or maybe she tells him that later, but
I think she tells him that later, but she
yeah.
does come back in with some food. Yeah.
Mm. And so he stays, and that night, two men come in and dressed in black, and they abuse him even worse than the last night. And the next morning he wants to leave. And then, yeah, that must be when she tells him that she's a princess and that if he can just stay one more night, she will be freed from their grasp. And so the third night, again, he endures, and it's worse than the first two nights. And there are three men, and excuse me, and they toss him up and down, and it's yeah, it's a they put him through hell. But the next morning, she's wearing white, and and in gratitude, she offers her hand in marriage. So they live there at the castle pretty happily for a while. But he has not forgotten his father, and he goes back to visit him. And she says, she gives him a ring, and if you like turn the collet of the ring, uh, she will come to help him, but to not seek her help for frivolous reasons. So he goes back to the king's that his is his father's employer grounds, and the old man, his father, does not recognize him. And the king sees him, thinking he's like a rich foreign prince, and hosts a grand party for him. And during that party, there's dancing, but the knights don't want to let him dance because he's so handsome that they're jealous of him. And he brags to them that his wife is better looking than all their wives, but they won't believe him. So then he turns the ring, and his there's a grand you know retinue of carriages and things, and his wife shows up, and she is indeed the most beautiful of the wives, and they dance, and it's presumably a wonderful night. And the next morning, Hans wakes up, and his old clothes are laid out on the bed, and his wife is gone, and there are iron shoes there, and there's a note saying that um, she's gone. Don't look for her. And even if he wears out these iron shoes, he'll never find her. So he's humiliated, and he goes to search for her. And his searches take him to a mountaintop where there are three men arguing over three magical objects. The first of them, well, there. Okay, so there's a bag or a purse that never stops filling up with money, and there is excuse me, there are shoes that can, or boots or shoes that can take you 100 miles at a step, and there is a cloak of invisibility. So he says he'll settle the dispute, and so he empties the coin purse a few times on the ground. It indeed keeps filling up with gold, and he puts on the invisibility cloak, puts on the shoes, and absconds with the bag. And so he was on top of a mountain, so he presumably goes down the mountain, and he's going, at this incredible pace, 100 miles a step. And he notices at some point there's a little man running alongside him, and it's the wind. And the wind informs him that he is rushing to try to get to the wedding of a princess so that he can dry off her newly washed clothes so that they will be ready in time for her wedding. And he thinks this is probably his wife, and so he tells the wind that he can, that they need to hurry, and he kind of lashes the wind behind him so that the wind can keep up with him. So he's literally running like faster than the wind to kind of to try to find his wife. And so he gets to town, and he's not like dressed richly or anything. So at an inn, they pay him no mind. But then he throws some coins around, and then they jump too. And he kind of, converses with the people there, and he realizes this indeed is his wife that is about to get married. Now at the ceremony, he yeah, he has on the invisibility cloak, and so they can't see him. And he knocks the book out of the parson's hand to try to sabotage the ceremony. And every time the husband to be, the groom, is about to say "I do," he hits him in the mouth so hard that the sound rings throughout the chapel. And so, like, I don't know what it would be like to be at that wedding and not know what's going on, but they just can't finish the wedding. I mean, the book won't stay in the priest's hand, and the guy just keeps getting hit in the mouth, and he just can't say "I do." So, so then everybody just goes to dinner, and it's already set up. So, uh, so then yeah, the Hans, he sits with the sort of the beggars that sort of don't have anything, and they're sort of like watching all the dishes go by, and they're sort of like he's taking food off the dishes, I think, and but anyway, he's getting food from there, and he's sharing it with them. And at some point, as he's doing that, his ring falls off, and one of the servants recognizes the initials of the princess on the ring and takes the ring to the princess. And she realizes what's going on. She and Hans talk, they make up, and then they get, and then they have the wedding, this time with the right bride and groom.